Today we're going to talk about slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is actually describing an equation. So let's real quick review linear equations. Okay, we talked about much earlier in the unit how a linear equation is anything that when you create the XY chart, we fill in our points, we plot those points, we get a line. That's called a linear equation because we have the word line in linear. And these are a couple that we did. You know, one was of the form x plus y equals 6, or x minus y equals a number, or x plus y equals any number. And then we had some of the form y equals. We talked about how x is always your independent variable because you really have the freedom to choose whatever values you want for x, even though I've told you what values you need to use. And then y is the dependent variable because y depends on x. Today, for slope-intercept form, we're going to concentrate on linear equations that look like this, not this. This is in what we call slope-intercept form of a linear equation. Slope-intercept form looks like this. Y equals mx plus b. Become very familiar with this equation. You are going to become incredibly familiar with it. It's going to be incredibly important to you in this class, Algebra 2, even a little bit in geometry, so on and so forth. The reason it's called the slope-intercept form is because this equation gives us both the slope and it gives us a y-intercept. Whatever number is in the place for m is the slope of the line. B is the y-intercept of our line. So that's why it's called slope-intercept form, because it gives you the slope and the y-intercept. Now, if we look back at our equation that I have here, 3, our m here, is 3. 3 is the number that's the coefficient of x. So that's our slope. Our slope of this line will be 3. And our y-intercept is 1. So we are actually able, at this point, to graph this line because, as we learned in a previous video, we can use slope to graph a line as long as we have a starting point, and then the slope tells us how to move from there. So you may want to write this down because I'm going to erase it. I do my crude drawing of a graph here. Okay, remember, the y-intercept is where we're going to cross the y-axis. So we are going to cross the y-axis at 1. That's right there. So there's our y-intercept. That's our starting point. Remember, our slope is 3. If it's a whole number, we're going to put it over 1. This is rise over run. The top number is going to tell us to rise, while the bottom number tells us to run. So positive 3 says go up 3, and the bottom number 1 tells us to go over 1. So from here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, over 1. 1, 2, 3, over 1. And there we have our points to form our line. So using slope-intercept form, we are able to graph any line we want because we always have a starting point with our y-intercept, which is where we're going to cross the y-axis, and then we always have a slope to tell us how to move from there. Let's try one more. Okay, let's remember y equals mx plus b. M is our slope, b is our y-intercept. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. Okay, so in this case, our y-intercept is 5. That's going to be our starting point, and our slope is negative 2/3. That's going to tell us to go down 2 over 3. So I'm going to start on the y-axis of 5. And now I'm going to go down 2 over 3. And then from there, I'm going to go down 2 over 3. And maybe do that a couple more times. I've run out of room. But there's our line. That quick and easy. So that is what slope-intercept form is. Y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. Y is your intercept. From that point, we are easily able to graph a line without an xy chart because we will always have a starting point and we will always have a slope that tells us how to move from point to point.